the drifts that we are dealing with in parking lots across the valley and all of the ice that we're seeing, it making things a little bit more challenging. Take a look. Look how much it washed out from this foundation here. This house moved off of its foundation and over into the street. The police and rescue teams are trying to get a woman out of a car that was just hit by a Rockingham County Sheriff's deputy. Consider this, every day in America, 9 people killed in a crash involving distracted driving, including using a cell phone behind the wheel. When you do use a cell phone behind the wheel, you increase your chances of a crash by 4 times. The issue is they're experts in uploading content to social media and the internet, and relatively less familiar with Word documents and spreadsheets. Now, you take this seemingly healthy orange juice and take a look at how much sugar is in it. 42 grams in this bottle right here. The fire burned between 5 and 10 acres here. You can see on the map where the flames were burning in the woods. That smoke visible from the fire for about 12 miles. So we switch it over to the infrared view. You can see my coat is hanging open. All that heat is escaping from this space. But take a look over my shoulder. You can see that wildfire that's burning. 70 acres on fire right now. A station wagon was pulling onto North Main Street. At the same time, a Rockingham County Sheriff's deputy cruiser was coming up North Main Street responding to a call. That's when the 2 cars collided. Yeah, this is the media release sent out by the Baltimore police earlier today. It says there's a credible threat to law enforcement across the nation. Could you kind of walk me through, since that sentencing came down, what all you have been going through? You had to take your Facebook page down, your cell phone had to change. Talk to me about that online presence that has been taken away.
Cool.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the people who accused you of what you did? And as I aim the temperature gun at it is reading a temperature of about -3 degrees. So those untreated surfaces are what we're watching tonight. Shooting trains along Norfolk Southern's line that runs through the Shenandoah Valley here in Boyce is easy during the daytime, but when you turn the lights off, there's a little more work that goes into it. I'm putting these new poles in so that they can make way for the wider road here on Reservoir Street. One of the first places they're going to look is under these ledges and under your doormat to see if you have a spare key hidden. We just checked with the cheapest gas prices around the valley. Take a look. For a gallon of regular gasoline, you're paying about $2.39 a gallon right now. These pipes, they have insulation on them. It's this foam insulation, but the pipes that don't have that insulation, they're going to freeze a lot easier. It's about teaching these players and everybody in the stands what it means to give a true sacrifice. We've got some pretty serious road conditions, especially on the I-64 corridor. A lot of that icing taking place. And also, we just found out that in the community of Port Republic Road is shut down because of just how much ice is on the road. And want to get down as low as possible and then get underneath that count. That's going to protect you from any debris that might fall over. And it's the number 24 relay across the country. And right now, I'm joined by Glennette Poland. She's from Newmarket. Glennette, this is not your first relay. Look at this cart. One person bought all of these toys for the kids in our area. Major, this has got to warm your heart to see this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real easy trick to do. Get your penny, make sure that Abraham Lincoln is turned upside down, and then stick him down in the tread.
Dad, watch out.
Roads turned to rivers here in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia a week ago. Today, the sun is back, but the destruction remains.
It was scary as the dickens.
Linda Irvin's home was damaged in the flood like many others here. Look how much it washed out from this foundation here. This house moved off of its foundation and over into the street. Irvin says she's not sure if she'll be able to repair it.
FEMA's looked at it. We won't know for another 10 days, but the floor is starting to fall, so I doubt it very seriously.
She's one of thousands here being helped by your donations from the Valley. I tagged along with this group from our area, which delivered support from our Valley businesses and individuals.
Because they have 3 little kids.
But this is just the beginning.
We need people on the ground here willing to put on some boots and some gloves and get in and help these people.
As the sound of recovery continues here, they'll be counting on outside support for days, weeks, and possibly years to come. And folks like Linda Irvin want you to know they're thankful.
Because there are so many people that are worse off than we are. We have our lives, a lot of them don't.
As the donations pile up and the trash heaps get carried away, it's your generosity that's getting things back to normal here. In White Sulphur Springs, Channing, Frampton, WHSV. The sound of a text message. It can be maddening for some not to answer. Just look at these people we caught on their phones on Interstate 81. If you're speeding down the highway, though, the choice to respond can be deadly. Just ask Joy Rowley.
I think about him every day. For a long time, I thought he would somehow magically, it was all a bad dream.
Investigators say her son Kyle was killed by someone who was texting moments before a crash that took his life in Fairfax County in 2011, a day his mother says she'll never forget.
It was just surreal. I just couldn't believe it. I still don't believe it. It's just so hard to come to terms with.
That crash happened before the current texting and driving law went into effect. Rowley says it's one reason she worked so hard to help get the current code on the books.
This tragedy affects, it doesn't discriminate, and it could affect anybody in any family, rich, poor, color, creed, and it's a big problem.
Here in the Shenandoah Valley, police agree.
Well, it's very frustrating for us.
Waynesboro police officer Aaron Will is one of the few officers in the valley who has actually written someone up for texting and driving. The reason?
It's hard to prove.
It's hard to prove because you can't say to somebody, hey, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Take a look at these numbers from the Valley. In Harrisonburg, 13 charged with texting and driving last year. In Rockingham County, 4 in the last 2 years. Waynesboro, 3 in the last 2 years. In Stanton, no one charged. Right now in Virginia, texting another person while moving behind the wheel is considered a primary offense, which means police can pull you over if they think you're texting and driving. Officer Will says that's easier said than done.
I mean, can you even see people looking down? No, it's pretty tough.
Really, you can't out here.
Yeah.
If they want us to enforce it, they need to make it more detailed.
And the numbers don't lie. Consider this. Every day in America, 9 people killed in a crash involving distracted driving, including using a cell phone behind the wheel. When you do use a cell phone behind the wheel, you increase your chances of a crash by 4 times. And research shows that 1 in 4 crashes involve using a cell phone behind the wheel. They're numbers that local police back up.
Distracted driving is a big cause of most of our accidents.
Yeah.
I'd say texting is probably near the top right now.
Right now, Republican Delegate Richard Anderson is working in the General Assembly to update the 2013 texting and driving law. His update would make it illegal for drivers in Virginia to use any handheld personal communication devices while behind the wheel, including cell phones, a measure Officer Will says could do some good.
It takes a couple seconds for you to look down, take your eye off the road, a kid steps out.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well.
And the update is another step in the legacy Kyle Rowley's family says he'll leave behind.
I guess I have chosen now to be grateful that we had him for 19 years, but it'll never be good again.
Channing, until the proposed update passes, what kind of penalty do people face who are caught texting and driving?
Well, the first time you're caught texting and driving, the fine is $125. If you're caught again, it's $250 each time you're caught after the first time. If you want to learn more about the proposed changes to this bill, well, you can visit our website, WHSV.com, using your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Just please don't do it while you're driving. Live in Harrisonburg, Channing, Frampton, WHSV.